Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Triple Crown Wargaming with me, Max, the Chieftain Hurley, and the Chieftain is apt. As today we're going to be going through my first impressions of what I feel like is going to probably be my main army for the upcoming old game, and that is the absolutely meme-worthy Beastmen, baby. The goat time is upon us. If you have, like me, held it with bated breath, held your bated breath, waiting for the old to drop in anticipation for much needed vindication for the rise of the cloven ones, you are here for it. So we're going to go through some of my first impressions in the same sort of vein that James went through his yesterday with his lovely high odds. So yeah, I'm going to go through some first impressions on some things that stuck out to me, what I'm looking forward to, and what I'm looking forward to being seen used. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. And obviously, same as James yesterday, I don't have the book available to myself. We have seen obviously the pictures and the videos that are circulating around on YouTube and on the internet itself. So I'm just going by what I've seen myself, and I'm going to give my generic first impressions of what I've seen so far. So to start out, we're going to start out with what is usually the core of anyone's army, but it might not have to be anymore. And we're going to start off with the Gore Herds. Now these are taking a bit of a change. The stat line is pretty much the same. Leadership has dropped a little bit, but if you take a True Horn or the Champion, your leadership goes back up to 7. Bit of a shame that, but I believe they do have the Warband special rule, which they do, so they get to add their rank bonus to their leadership. From what I've seen, I think that's the correct way it goes. So much like strength in numbers for the Skaven, which is quite good. It means you can get. It does feel like deep ranks of gore is what you're going to be wanting with to get that fable like leadership 10 sort of thing. Now, equipment wise, they have to take one additional weapons or shields. You always used to do anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. They don't cost anything anymore, so that's always nice. You can take full command. The True Horn can take a great weapon if he wants, or magic items up to 25 points, which is a nice little change. You can. What I've seen a lot from what I've seen about the old world is that unit champions in most units can take magic items now. So you're no longer being held to your characters only and a few select unit champions throughout the game. Most unit champions in units now can take magic items, which I think is a lovely change. It means that you can have a lot more variety in the magic items you're bringing to the table. You get to see a lot more of those crazier items in itself. And they can also purchase ambushes. 1 unit per 1,000 may purchase ambushes for 1 model. And they can take a magic standard 50 points. Even better! The Gore got a real go up at this point in time. The good go on Gore. So ambushes works in the same sort of vein as it did in 8th edition. But you don't have to do it anymore. You can choose to ambush, so it's pretty good. And it works quite well with the Beast Lord or War Gores. I believe it's the, what is it called? The Brayhorn, which means that if you fail to bring your ambushes in on the turn you want to bring, the Beast Lord of the War can call out on his Brayhorn and you get another go at the cherry. It's always quite nice. So I feel like ambushing is probably going to be a way to go, especially with some of the rules that the Gore do now have. They come with all the usual stuff. So they've got old Primal Furies back, Mark Class Undivided, which is real Panic Test, I believe. Bestial Charge. And weirdly enough, one of the biggest changes I saw from the Gore is that they can either be an open order or even skirmish. And this is a crazy change to me. Open order is pretty much the same. You ranked up units, but you don't lose your rank bonuses for being in a difficult terrain, which I think is fantastic. Means that you're really playing to the Beastman themes of attacking through a wood. So the goats really are at home in this sort of terrain parts of the battlefield. The skirmish one is really interesting to me, to be honest. It really does help them out a little bit. I'm looking at the units of like 10 to 15 Gore in a skirmish formation, moving around as if they're individuals, with 360 line of sight. Lovely. Means that I believe them does probably mean they can charge with 360 as well, which also goes hand in hand with the bestial charge rule, which is on a turn in which the Gore charge, they get +1 strength. So even better, it means you're really helping out with that strength 3, which always hampered Gore back in 8th edition. To get strength 4 on the charge is even better. But that's it. I'm gonna leave that Gore as there. I believe that they, as I said, they're not your only core choice anymore. Alongside the Ungor and Tuskor chariots, you have plenty of other options for core, depending on what you choose to be the leader of your army. And next, we're going to move into some of the big bovines themselves, which are Minotaurs. Now, Minotaurs are probably one of my favourite units towards the back end of 8th when I was using them. I really did enjoy using a unit of 7 or 8 with a Doom Ball and running out the centre and absolutely wrecking face and going down hard if someone does decide to take it on. Now, the Minotaurs, they are used at 2+ now, so you don't have to take use of 3. You only have to take 2 if you really want to. I'm yet to see the application of what that could mean for game. It'd be a little interesting one. They've gone down in points where the base cost now 47 points. Which is lovely to see. But yeah, 2+ unit wise, so pretty cool. They all have the usual standard upgrades. So they've got great weapons, additional weapons, shields, full command. Champions can take magic items. And it can also take the champion can also take chaos mutations as well, which is really nice. And you can give 0 to 1 unit ambushes. A lot, from what I've seen, a lot in the army, a lot of the Beastmen units can be given ambushes. So if you're looking for sort of that outflanking force, you can just put down a force of Ungor herds if you really want to, really absorb what's coming towards you at the front at the beginning of the turn, and then on turn, say what, turn 2 onwards, get your flanking ambushes going on and really trying to hamper the opponent. And they can also take magic standards. Beautiful, they never used to be able to. So 50 points magic standards even better. The big thing I did see for Minotaurs is that they have the Motley Crew rule. And from what I'm understanding, this is basically the same as what Man-Eaters used to have back in 8th, which means that you can mix and match weapons and armor throughout the unit, which does give up some tactical options of how to use your Minotaurs. Do you just go all great weapons, or do you go all additional hand weapons, or do you try and mix and match, try and tailor your units to take on all comers if you really want to? I love the idea of it. Seeing as they are usually the first to put their hand into the weapons pile at the base of a herdstone, makes sense that not every Minotaur is going to grab the same weapon as his compatriots. It means that you're going to see some shield and sword and boards, some great weapons, some additional weapons, means that you can tailor your units to take on anything. One of the big issues I've seen with Minotaurs is that they do have Frenzy Rule, which is a lot harder to control these days. Seeing as if you can charge with a Frenzy unit, you have to charge. There's no test to restrain, nothing of that sort of nature. You have to be really careful with these guys. And seeing as you can just partially charge through your own units, it probably be even harder to control them. So whether or not they'll be useful or whether or not they'll be fallen to the wayside of the Brayherd in itself, we'll have to see as events and games continue to go onwards in the future. Now, the next unit I'm going to go over is, of course, I can't not go over them. If you know me, you know my love of Beastmen, you know my love of the Razor Gore Herd. And in all honesty, the Razor Gore Herd has had a wonderful glow up in the fact that you can now take Razor Gore Herd in core. Wild times are in right now, guys. Wild times are in. I am looking to myself thinking, oh, do I just fill up my core with like 3 or 4 units of 4 Razor Gore? Absolutely mad. Like, you looking at it and think, you don't really need to take the gore. You don't need to do anything else. You can just take all the Razor Gore you want, fill up the core, take Razor Gore chariots, get even more pigs in your army, get some carrots and Razor Gore chariots. Oh, it'd be beautiful. So really cool. I really do like the idea of the Razor Gore and core. They could probably be sort of the base of ambushing armies. They don't have the option to take ambushes. So a bit of a sad one there. Stat wise, they pretty much stayed the same. I believe leadership is still the same. They've gone down in points. They've gone down 3 points in points cost. It's always lovely. What we have seen, what I've just noticed as well, is they are war beasts now. So they are a type of cavalry. So they're not monstrous cavalry. They're not monstrous beasts anymore. Interesting choice there. Interesting to see that happen. Always quite a weird one. As always, they can take units of 1+. They are allowed a bigger base size. And if you saw a Razor Gore, you would have seen that the Razor Gore were on huge bases as it was anyway. To see them on bigger bases is going to be even crazier. Seeing as they now go on 50 by 75s, which is the size of base that the old Juggernauts used to be on themselves. So quite cool there. In terms of rules now, they also now have light armor. Lovely little change for it. Rules wise, they have Armor Bane 1, Fear, Foe Render. They have D3 impact hits per model. And seeing as impact hits are pretty decent right now, and the prevalence of what I've seen of elves being everyone's pick of the top meta army, impact hits are going to be even stronger to have. Open order, which means they don't have rank issues for charging through terrain, always quite nice. And they get a little cheeky reform at the end of it, I believe. And now they also do have Primal Fury. Oh, boys and girls, the Razor got to get even better. Primal Fury now, real ones to hit if you pass the leadership test. Leadership 6 ain't gonna be that often, but if you get within General's leadership range, then you are laughing. Yeah, Primal Fury, you get your rerolls, get your foe render, which I believe if you pass your Primal Fury, -2 to all your attack, or -2 on armor to all your attacks. Absolutely beautiful. I love to see it. Razor Gore, they're going to be in every army I'm trying to run so far. And the last unit that I'm going to talk about, which is a lot of people's picks for sort of the best monster in Beastmen, is the Gorgon. Now, the Gorgon used to be a pretty decent choice back in 8th edition, if I'm honest. A lot of people did take Gorgons purely because it was probably the best monster out of the monsters you had in your army, which weren't a great selection to begin with. But the Gorgon's got another, as I said, another bit of a glow up. It pretty much kept the same stat line. I think it's lost an attack base. It's now down to 5 attacks in itself. But it does still have frenzy, so you still have the issues that the Minotaur's having, which does have to charge if it can. So you have to try and be careful with that one. But it has now got some form of save. It's got light armor and 6-up regeneration. It's still stubborn. It says blood grade and all that sort of lovely stuff. Primal Fury as well. Pretty much everything in the Beastmen army now has Primal Fury. So get the real ones to hit in close combat to yourself. What the main selling point for a Gorgon, from what I've seen, is its weapons, which are the cleaver blades. And these are strength as per user, which is strength 6, -2 to your armor. The special rules wise, they have killing blow and monster slayer. So pretty much means if they're all 6 to wound, they're killing anything that's anything that's infantry, or killing anything that's a monster, which is madness to me. Absolute madness. I do think Gorgons are a bit of a 1+ pick at the moment from my first impressions of the Beastmen. Whether or not they are relatively viable in the game, I'm yet to see. But the idea of being able to take out all those, what I feel like is going to be the big character-ridden monsters running around the boards, I am looking forward to see how it plays into that. Now, initiative 4 is a little bit low, but if you do manage to get the charge off, you are getting some bonus initiative up to about initiative 7. So hopefully those charges will help you out a little bit to getting those killing blow attacks in. It does have a swallow hole rule again in itself, which in it is quite a funky one. I'm not going to go through it at the moment, but it's better than it was in 8th edition. So all around, I think the Gorgon in itself has gotten better as well. It's gone down in points, which is always lovely. But those are sort of my first impressions and ideas behind what the Beastmen have to offer. I feel like they are going to be, they're not going to be the laughing stock of the old world anymore. I feel like they are going to be up there contending with some of the big boys. Now, there are some concerns with stuff like elves, which are always concerned because elves seem to always get the loving, especially the high elves with what they've got going on with the sword masters and star dragons. It might be a bit of a concern, but we can only see what's going on there. But thank you for joining me today and going through my first impressions here. I'm looking forward to the old world, which at the time of recording is only about a week and a half away from release. So we don't have long to wait at all. Tell me your first impressions, what you enjoyed the look of from the Beastmen, from what you've seen online and in videos. Tell me what you don't think will be very good, what will be very good, what you're taking in your own first drafts of army lists. Let me know below in the comments, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But until next time, guys, thank you very much for listening to us, and we'll see you next time.
Remember to tag your friends and like, subscribe and share. Then head over to triplecrownwargaming.com and become a Knight of the Realm today. What are you doing, mate?
Are you alright?
Do it for Warhammer!